Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Our next guest is an absolute trailblazer. How brave you'd have to be. A trailblazer in the world of space exploration. Katherine Bennell-Pegg is the first female astronaut to fly under the Australian flag. I can see her in a uniform now with an Aussie flag on her arm. Hello, Katherine. We're so thrilled to talk to you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be on your show. Thank you so much.
So you've done all the training and you now wait to see if you get selected for a mission. Is that right?
That's right. So I graduated in April from what's called basic training, which is what you do after you're selected to be an astronaut. And once you graduate, you can call yourself an astronaut and you're ready for mission assignment to the space station or even the moon. So we'll see what the future holds. It's up to each astronaut's country to decide their path forward, but it's early days, so one step at a time.
Amazing. Did you dream of being an astronaut when you were a kid?
I did. It was becoming an astronaut's really the culmination of a childhood dream and a combination with my adult dream as well that helped grow the really great Australian space sector that we have. And, 7 out of 10 Aussie kids want to be astronauts today, which is just incredible. And it's been amazing to speak to many of them since I've come home.
When you look at the NASA astronauts, Butch and Sunita, who are stuck on the International Space Station as we speak, do you feel, hang on a minute, because if you had plans, like you go up there.
I've planned a dinner party.
I got some plans, and now I'm stuck up here till next year. How does that feel? How do you feel about that?
Well, astronauts have a lot of training in how to deal with uncertainty, and particularly for, Butch and Sunny, they have been trained for this particular mission, which one of the scenarios was you might be in space a lot longer. So I'm sure they've got people watering their plants, etc. at home. And while they're in space, they're, being active members of the crew doing science and are ready to do things like spacewalks. So yeah, it's part of your training to handle that level of risk and uncertainty, even in a vehicle that, is mature and operational. There's a 1 in 200 fatality risk in your mission, and it's a higher risk in a new vehicle. And yeah, it's part of your service to the world to help develop new ways to get to space for good science and exploration.
Well, that's the thing. You are doing science while you're there. We see the drama of the liftoff and whatever. But I mean, you're actually, when you're in space, you are doing science work, aren't you?
Absolutely. So in space, the major home for astronauts today is the International Space Station, ISS. It's almost the size of a soccer pitch. It's huge.
Wow.
It's got, it's got the internal volume of like an A380, and it's full of science labs and research labs for things like robotics and astronomy and material science. And even astronauts themselves are medical test subjects for a lot of medical research on Earth into things like bone and muscle degradation and cardiovascular systems. So there's a lot to do up there. And it meant that on the training in the last year and a half, we learned so many different topics. It was really an incredible time.
I've always wondered how I would go, because I've seen in the movies that centrifuge that you train in, and then the claustrophobia of being cooped up. How you obviously don't suffer from any of those things.
No, but of course, astronauts are human, so there are times that we get stressed as well. So during the astronaut training, we'll put in situations designed to push our limits. So we went in a centrifuge, like you mentioned, spun up to 6G for quite some time at the end of a long arm in a small box. But actually, that was wonderful because it was dark and you could really imagine yourself going through the launch and re-entry on a rocket. And we do things like expeditions, like winter survival, ocean survival, firefighting and rescue, and learn how to handle ourselves when we're pushed out of our comfort zone in space. While most astronauts, don't have a vertigo or a fear of heights, when you step out of the airlock on a spacewalk and the Earth's below you, you often get apparently a sense of vertigo. Like you might feel like you might fall, but of course you're not going to fall.
Oh.
So we taught techniques like, don't look down initially, wait till your body realizes, you're still floating, and then enjoy the view for a minute or two before you start off with
Because imagine feeling you're
installing
going
a
to
piece of
fall. You're going to fall out of
think
space.
of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just something in the body just to triggers that way.
Because it's very high. The toilet facilities, do you go through practice? Because I was looking at how the whole toilet thing, because this is something that Sunny explained what you have to do, but like for a guy it's kind of easier, but for number one and number two it's like, oh my God, that I couldn't even deal with that.
That's your first year of training.
Well, I have done the toilet qualification, or at least for one of the toilets, so
Right.
I'm equipped to answer. But yeah, the toilet is actually a really complicated piece of kit. For the number ones, yeah, it's probably a bit easier for men, but everyone has their own kind of funnel to use, and there's airflow to help things go where it should. And yesterday's coffee becomes tomorrow's coffee, if you know what I mean. All the water is recycled.
Yep.
Oh.
And
Didn't you see The Martian? You saw The Martian?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did love that.
Can I ask you, it seems that more and more people are saying that the moon landing was fake. My husband, who was a science head, would punch people in the face if anyone said that to him. And I know Buzz Aldrin punched someone pretty much in the throat when they said it to him. How do you feel? Because this undermines all that incredible science that has been done all through these years.
Yeah, I think it's almost something that I find a bit bemusing because, sometimes people just want to be controversial, and there's so many arguments that say that there's no way that happened. There were just far too many people involved. For a start, I think I learned from Dr. Carl that, you need no more than 5 or 6 people to keep a secret. And there were, tens of thousands of people involved from across many countries. Every single conspiracy can be debunked. Australia was, tracking the Apollo vehicles as they came back. And in that era, there's absolutely no way you could mimic the flight path of that and that kind of signal for a radio telescope or tracking system on there.
But the science has been amazing.
If you were part of that.
If
Amanda was part of Capricorn 1.
How could I not have blabbed?
Which is a movie that faked the moon landing.
Yeah.
But
honestly, the next person on the moon will be blabbing, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
because they want to claim being the first.
You were saying I was there. That's why Buzz got so upset.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either. And all the science that went into that should not be undermined.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is an achievement of humanity that, if anything's remembered for our era for thousands of years, that'll be it. It's a phenomenal step into, the next phase of human life off Earth.
Yep. Do you believe that there's life out there, like another world? I have this theory that there's another world like ours, but it's so far away. It's like light years away, and they have the
Trying to get a radio gig.
Well, no, they have the same technology as we do, but they can't get to us and we can't get to them. Is that a theory that could stand up?
Yeah, the distances involved in the scale of the universe are mind-blowing. In the universe, it's thought to be there's more than 1 billion trillion stars. It's similar to, number of grains of sand in the Earth, actually. And when we look through space telescopes at different stars near us, we're seeing so many of them actually have planets around them, and many have planets in what's called the habitable zone. So just on an odds perspective, I'm personally quite convinced there's life out there, but I don't think we've been visited by intelligent life. And the question is, can we ever find and communicate with it?
There it is.
What a life you're in
Catherine,
for.
what
It's
a treat
amazing,
it is to
Catherine.
speak to you. Good luck. We're on your team. We want you up there.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's an honour to represent Australia and to be helping our researchers get more access to in-space labs as well.
Good on you.
Maybe we could get Catherine to wear some WS logo. Jonesy and Amanda caps. We'll talk about that separately, Catherine. Thank you.
Hard.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll
Bye-bye.
get Amanda to work on the toileting. Catherine
pleasure.
Bennell-Pegg, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.